Get him, get him.
Oh my God!
Calm down. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here.
Oh! Yeah, dude!
Dude.
6 pounds, 11 ounces. Oh.
Oh my. Oh. That's what I've been waiting for all day.
That's over 6.
True. And that one's, oh, here he goes. Go. Good?
That's a big fish.
Full hand on tail, yeah, it looks sick. Good to go.
Look how broad that thing is.
I wonder if that was the one that followed me in.
Beautiful. Oh my God. Holy God. What a beast.
Oh, wow. That might be a 4. That might be a 4.
Yeah, it's a 4. You guys show that out too. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. Holy. Oop.
Another good one.
Holy sh! What the? Is that another 6?
Could be.
It's the second giant of the day, proving that point. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yes!
Big baits, big fish. There we go. 5 pounds, 6 ounces. Beauty! Dude, I'm not even joking. It happened again.
You kidding me?
Nope.
Is it big?
Oh! That's strong.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
That's a fat fish, dude.
4.
Holy. Dude. Holy hell, that's long.
Yeah, it is.
5, 4, 6. What?
Yeah. Just rock.
Got him. Get in here, you. There's another 6. You. That's a big fish.
6'10". Woo-hoo-hoo. Little fatty.
Add, remove, add. There we are.
Oh, hey, there he is.
Evening, everybody.
Made it.
Hello.
I just saw your comment. Holy hell, that's long. Words I never heard until this intro.
True.
Yeah. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Scrambling. Apologies for not making the pre-game show to make sure my camera and audio worked. But here we
Hey,
are.
look, it's working.
It's fine. It's okay. We are used to you being a slacker. It's all good. It's not like you don't have a million things going on anyway.
No. Plenty of time on my hands.
Oh, man. Well, everybody that's here, thank you very much for joining us as always. Apologies for not being here last week. I had a lot of work to do for my real work. And I worked some crazy long days so I could get some of these new reports done, but I got it done. I survived, barely. Controlled chaos. That is my life, and it becomes more chaotic by the week, I feel like. And now, especially as we're getting closer to the New England Fishing Expo, first weekend in February, February 2nd to the 4th, at the Royal Plaza Trade Center in Marlborough, Mass., which all 3 of us will be there, because now Oliver and Riley are coming down, which is going to be awesome. Obviously, you know I was going to be there the whole time, and you already knew that Andrew's going to be there the whole weekend for Bass Fishing Electronics. But you guys are going to be smushed in between Humminbird and Garmin, too, I believe.
Yeah.
So you're going to have...
I hope I'm close to you guys.
You are not.
Damn it.
You're not that far either, though. But because of the room that you guys needed, he wasn't able to put you near us. But, like, I guess overall grand scheme of things, you know, obviously it's Reel Nothern Bass, Big Bass Dreams, Defiant, and then right directly across from us is Douglas. So we kind of got that whole connection going on. And then right, like, kind of diagonally across from us is Ben's. So, like, and that, I'm not sure where Beast Coast is.
I'll
actually.
just be over there like, hey guys, hi.
I'm going to keep jumping so you can see me over the top of the wall. Andrew!
Hi. like a Jack Russell.
You set up a webcam or something. I could bring Fife's like pet cam. It
Oh,
spits
yeah.
out
Dude, do it!
Just bring
man,
Fife
dude.
and let me hang out with him.
If you bring Fife near him, you're not getting Fife back.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
He is a popular attention-stealing little bastard.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Well, he's a great dog. What do you want? Every dog gets attention anyway, but your dog's a great dog, so it's a lot easier.
Shitty gas station coffee.
Gross.
It is terrible.
Mark, is the audio timing off a bit, or is it me? I would actually like to know if that's an issue with anybody else before we get any further into tonight. But tonight's topic, open topic night, which we've had Oliver on. I think this is like, what, the fourth time you've been part of the show now? Pretty close to it. But we've always had you on for very specific topics. So this will be a really fun one to have you on, where we're just going to fly by the seat of our pants like we usually do anyway. And we're going to have a lot of comments coming in from the chat so that we're just going to wing it. Ooh, chum ring.
That's general stuff. Topic, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a topic.
And all kinds of new toys.
Let me see.
Interesting.
I want to see all your toys.
I got some stuff. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. 2 people said the audio is off a little bit. It's like a weird video lag. Interesting. So I know that the audio and video has always been off a little bit since we got the Rodecaster, but it's literally like, I think it's like a 1/10 of a second. And I fixed that when I, dumped this into a video. But I've never noticed the issue live. Nobody said anything before tonight, and literally nothing's changed. And I'm not sure how to fix it on the fly, so we're just going to deal with it, and I apologize. Here we go. But for everybody that's in the chat, by all means, start throwing us questions. You know the drill when it comes to doing any of these open topic nights. We're really here to service you guys, to allow you to ask questions that otherwise we wouldn't be able to get to, especially when we're doing either really specific topic nights or if we have guests on. There's not always an opportunity for random questions to fit in, right? So that's why we like to do this at least once a month, because it provides an open forum for literally any questions that you guys want about anything, and we're here to answer them. But I am curious, Oliver, I want you to get started. What the hell was that chum ring thing? Because that thing looked cool.
Yeah.
And now, dude, you know what? Okay, I want to elaborate first. Then I'm going to tell you what I was thinking this could be really, really, really freaking good for. Do it. Tell us. Explain. Elaborate. Expand.
Oh, man. This contraption is designed to hold bait. And then you tie it off to your boat. And it looks like it's got a tie off at the bottom of it. So I'm going to try sinking this thing on some of these deep water structure spots that I've been saltwater bass fishing on the days where they're not fired up, which was like Monday. It was not quite like Saturday, which they were so fired up. I was catching them on the Cast OG on the 75 and the 60 gram, and there were wolf packs of them destroying a topwater bait in January, which is very peculiar. It's about as common as finding a largemouth bite on topwater in January. So, I'm just trying to experiment, because in saltwater you can chum. I don't know if you guys can chum in your neck of the woods. In freshwater, we aren't allowed to in California.
It's not really. Yeah, you can.
Kind of, but so this is where I was thinking that would be really good for. I can't remember the company. DJ bought some of these. They're like little bio bait balls.
I've used those.
Yeah, dude, fill that thing with a couple of things when you go out ice fishing.
Yep.
Like drill wherever you want to set up, and if you think you're in a good spot, drill another hole 20 feet away, and then drop that thing down over there so it's out of your way.
Brings
and then
all the bait in.
Oh, dude, we can get some slab crappies.
Yep.
Dinner.
Yep.
Okay, we need it. We need ice.
That's
too.
if we get ice. Yeah, we need ice first.
Yeah, we got ice in the freezer.
What's that?
We got plenty of ice.
Liar. Southern California. What ice? What do you know about ice?
Yeti ice in the freezer.
Have you ever been ice fishing or been on the ice?
No.
Do you ever want to go ice fishing? You want to come out for an extra day while you're up here for the show, and we'll take you out on the ice?
We have ice.
You guys are only about the 79th people to invite myself ice fishing.
Does it take 80? Because I'll ask again.
As compelling as it seems, I haven't been quite convinced that it's more fun than what I've been doing.
Trust me, it'll be nice and warm in my shelter. It'll be like 75 degrees in there, if not warmer.
It sounds like a trap.
I mean, it might be.
Wait, remember when you took out Jim, the original founder of Filthy Anglers?
Yep.
Wasn't that his first time ice fishing? And it was like negative 30?
Yep.
Was there drinking involved?
Nope.
Oh, I don't know a time when I hung out with Jim when there was no drinking.
Well,
involved.
he may have been, but I wasn't. No, I think it was actually too cold for him to drink. It was pretty cold. We
I
caught
thought
like
that was
100
the
bass
whole
that day
appeal
too.
of ice fishing was that it's so damn cold and so damn boring that you just catch a buzz, and then if you catch a fish, it's kind of a bonus.
I feel like that's how like everybody on the outside looks in on fishing.
So the
In general.
same way that I feel about everybody shit talking California, you guys feel about how we talk about ice fishing.
Okay.
Not necessarily based in fact.
This is true.
Hmm.
This is true. I you know what? I never went ice fishing, and because growing up, like I've been in a boat since before I could walk and talk, and my dad never had any interest in ice fishing. When I got a little bit older and like I started hearing about people doing it, I was like, Dad, why don't we go ice fishing? He was like, because if I wanted to be, if I want to sit around do nothing and drink all day, I'll do it at home where I'm warm. Fair enough. So I never went.
But I get it. Like if that's all you have, but it can be fun, I'm sure. But you know, when you got options, it's kind of a hard sell.
Yeah, no, I
Well,
mean, dude,
nowadays there's not really much ice, so
right, but even in the
there's not
winters
much
that
ice fishing.
we've had good ice, even like 20 minutes from the house, I would still rather drive 2.5 hours towing my boat through salt and
So Saturdays
freezing.
I'd go ice fishing, and Sundays we'd go on the boat. Literally, that's
You'd
how
be
it's
able to
been.
do both.
Yeah, that's how it's been for the last like 5 years.
As weird as it is, I started to enjoy ice fishing when I gave up on chasing bass and went after panfish purely. So I could at least get a meal out of it. And then my kids had a chance of catching something, and they get so jacked up, like they actually understand how to look at the, my little freaking Garmin striker that I have, and they're actually watching the bait on it, and they're kind of working there. I get them their own jig rods and stuff, and they kind of know what they're doing. They haven't hooked up yet, but they've come close a few times. So their excitement makes me excited to go out. But, if they're not going out, then I'm like, unless Andrew's already got a sweet plan for a good spot somewhere local, I'm not really that jacked up to go.
So if you ever want to go, and you want to go catch crappie, I'll bring him to the little crappie honey hole. The one I brought you
You
to.
guys know I'm always down for big crappie dreams. I mean, I was silly enough to put it on a T-shirt.
That's true.
You're not wrong.
They hold a special place in my heart. All panfish, really. But it's interesting that you made the comment, Sean, that at least it gives you a reason to keep some fish. Has there been any talk in your neck of the woods about selective harvest of black bass?
No, there's still an extreme negative stigma around it up here because the problem is that, unfortunately, the only time you see people talking about it and exercising their right to do that, it's always with like a 4+ pounder. So, and then it just turns into nothing but a negative conversation, which I totally get because now that's a 10+ year old bass up here in the Northeast. That's a significant deal. You keep anything over 4 pounds. Nobody talks about those 1.5 to 2 pounders, those perfect eater sizes, of which the majority of our lakes are plagued by overpopulation of
1 to
those
2
fish.
pounders. Yeah.
Yeah, and man, dude, like I'm guilty. I'm just as guilty as the next guy. For years, anytime I saw somebody keeping anything, I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I understand you're right, but man, dude, like, we should be protecting it because I was uneducated about the entirety of of just everything about that. And as I've grown and learned to understand that selective harvesting is beneficial and really truly understanding what that means and growth rates, average size, average lifespan of black bass up here, the whole 9 yards. And the only time I see something, I try and encourage that selective harvesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an interesting topic that I've been trying to wrap my head around tackling on my own platforms because I live in the former land of giants. For my entire life up until the last decade or so, I've lived within a 2-hour radius of the biggest largemouth bass in the world. So much that you all thought coming to California was all you needed to do to catch a double-digit bass.
Yep.
Like you guys had this crazy perception because of how many big fish were pumping out of Southern California when it has never been easy. But now, because of that same dynamic that you just described of no harvest, and extreme stigma and social cultures and pressures to release everything, we've destroyed our own trophy fisheries because of overpopulation. And there's plenty of science to back it. I've been trying to get one of our California Fish and Wildlife biologists to actually man up and actually like speak publicly about it, because he doesn't really want to deal with the drama.
Yeah.
But the data's there. I mean, these surveys that they do, I mean, a 15-year-old fish is about as old as these largemouth get. And 10 to 20, 30 years ago, that fish had every capacity to be 12 to 15 plus pounds. Now they're stunting at 6 pounds.
That's
I used to
crazy.
shake off 7-pounders. Like, I've written articles about being burned out because I couldn't stop catching 7-pounders at one point in my life. Man, what I wouldn't give for those days to be back.
Yep.
Because we're celebrating 4s and 5s again. It's like we're in the Northeast. Except
Yeah, dude, seriously.
You literally beat me to the punch on that, man. My mouth was open. I was starting to say it. Like, so Southern New England now? Like, New England?
Crazy. And one of the biggest factors is just the lack of harvest. And if you guys don't follow Shan on Instagram or now on YouTube, he's the aquatic biologist. He runs for a living smaller fisheries and growing bass as fast as he can, as efficiently as he can. And here's a simple formula that he likes to share that makes a lot of sense, right? If he's managing, let's say it's a 100-acre pond, we'll just use simple figures to make it easy to wrap our heads around. That pond has a limited carrying capacity. Let's say it's 100 pounds of bass, or actually it's 100 pounds of fish. You can have the choice of having 100 1-pounders or 10 10-pounders. You can't have both.
Correct.
And once you get to this threshold where these dinks overtake your body of water, it's hard to remove enough of them to get it to go back the other direction. It's pretty wild, man. So like, I've been trying to wrap my head around, okay, now how do we spread this message without getting everybody all up in their feelings? Because we're all emotionally tied to these fish, right? But we assume that every fish that we release is going to grow into a potential 10-pounder. And that's just not how the world works.
Right.
You're doing yourself a disservice if you're releasing smaller fish.
Yep.
And even now, like, it's not easy, but I've been trying to get myself more comfortable with the idea of keeping and eating these fish. And our fisheries are so far gone in this whole extreme catch and release that I was asking that the biologist, like, is there like a threshold of size where we want to kind of let the bigger ones go? He's like, no, just take them all out, because those bigger ones are already maxed out. Like, they're not going to grow. You're better off removing them from the system and allowing that new year class with the right genetics the opportunity to have the space in the forage to then get big. And he surveyed one of my local lakes, and I forgot what the number of adult bass they surveyed was, but it was like, I think like 20,000. And I was like, well, how many bass need to be harvested? He threw like a crazy number. I want to say it was like 12,000 keeper bass.
Whoa.
And I'm like, what? So like,
wow.
Nobody's been putting any dents in fish populations with those kind of numbers being thrown around over the years. And if anything, those people were doing us that liked big bass a huge favor,
right?
Whether we realized it or not. But anyway,
I
don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole.
No, dude. No, this is a good topic. It was honestly, it was something I was thinking about for a seminar topic while we're at the New England show, because I've already given Dan one of my topics for the hog trough, and then another topic for like the main seminar stage. Honestly, this might be worth something for us to bring up that either one of us or the two of us together we could talk about up there. And as terrible as
You
it's
can do
gonna
it. That way I
sound,
can throw vegetables at you from the audience.
boo this man.
I'm gonna bring a bag of potatoes. Yeah, that would hurt.
It's got to be
That would
rotten
suck.
though. Might be hard because like I don't know if vegetables rot in the ice.
Oh God! But like there'd be an opportunity to do it, and as terrible as it's going to sound, you'd almost have to like kind of clickbait that seminar topic,
yeah.
like keep and eat all your bass, like something stupid like that, where it's going to get people riled up and pissed off and show up to like
Totally.
get pissed.
But they got to talk about it.
Yeah, and then you would have
learned.
that opportunity, and I think for us up here, at least in the Northeast, the challenge in getting to that is most guys that would want to keep bass would only want to do it in really cold water anyway. And at that point, you're limiting the number of people that would do it. But then your keeper, your limit per day per person is much smaller during the winter months. It's only 2 per person per day. Plus side, however, you're only allowed 1 over 16 inches per day. So if, at least from our perspective, our region, if we wanted to put a dent in that without taking too many of the big fish, you're just like decimating any and all quality for a little bit, plus numbers, you can't quite hit it that hard. But I don't know, the plus side, at least for us up here too, is the one thing I can tell everybody is we have a friend, actually several friends, that always catch and release bass. And one winter, they were both like, you know what? I'm going to keep a smallmouth if it gets gut hooked and just keep it because it's going to die anyway. So why throw it back in the lake?
Wasn't that on camera?
Yes, it was.
You never made it.
No, yeah, because what he did to that poor thing was violent. I mean, it was dying and dead anyway, but, he had to bleed it out. So he's a mountain man. So he just just grabbed the throat and ripped it out by hand.
He snuck in front of the camera without him seeing. I watched him do it, and he looked at me. And he's like, "Shh." Like, okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, and just for the shock factor, like I just did a ikejime video. Do you guys know what that is?
What is it?
no.
It's a Japanese term and fish processing technique where they take a spike, you brain the fish when it's alive to kill it instantaneously, and then you also run like a stainless wire through that brain hole into the spinal column to destroy the actual nerves.
Yeah.
And of course bleeding and then icing them in an ice slurry. But I've started doing that with a lot of the saltwater fish that we've been eating that have always been touted as like good eating because they don't taste like anything. And we've always just thrown them on ice at best. And I've noticed an insane difference in eating quality since doing this ikejime technique. So I actually did a video of me freaking brain spiking some fish alive. I thought it was like, oh, maybe YouTube will demonetize me or this, that, and a third, but like it hasn't even caught on. It's got like no views on it. But you guys are curious, like imagine me doing that to a largemouth alive.
Oh my God, that would fire
People
some people.
would
It would
lose
break
their
the
minds.
internet.
Yes, it
It would
would.
break the internet. But really, if you're going to harvest them to eat, that's actually probably the most humane to dispatch them, the quickest way to dispatch them, and for maintaining the highest quality of eating, like that's what you want to do. And I saw that comment from Sir Altitude about the
I was
gross
gonna pin that.
pollution that you guys have. Like,
Yeah.
Mercury
I
is a
mean,
big
fish
issue in the
out-
Northeast.
yeah, Onondaga is a perfect place to eat fish out of. What are you guys talking about? You can, I mean, you don't have to eat them, but just pull them out of the body of water. Fertilizer. I mean, there's multiple uses for these fish.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't have to feed them to people you like. Feed them to people you don't like.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
There's plenty of hungry critters out there. You chuck a couple up on the shore, they're gonna get eaten. Dude, we have so many fox and raccoons. I don't know.
Coyotes.
Plenty of coyotes. Good Lord.
Bobcats. Meow.
Bobcats, fisher cats, minks, like just stuff that, like just between the minks and the what's the other thing? The ermine. I don't know if there's one and the same.
Otter.
There's plenty of otters, but I'm thinking they look like a ferret. And they live right along like shorelines, rocky shorelines.
Yeah, I thought that was a mink.
I know there's a mink, but I thought there was an ermine too, which is technically the same, but not really.
I'm sure we have them.
Whatever. People know what I'm talking about. But yeah, dude, I mean, you could chuck them up there. The thing would be gone before the morning of the next day.
Eagles all over the place now.
Yeah, tons of eagles and hawks because for some reason the rabbit population has exploded in this region the last couple of years, which I'm not opposed to. But it's actually really cool because the number of like birds of prey we've been seeing around, especially our area, southern New Hampshire, where we really haven't had
the last 10 years. It was like if you saw a bald eagle, it's like, whoa, cool, look at that. Yeah. And now it's every time it's like if you don't see one, it's like, no eagle today.
Yeah,
literally every body of water. It's ridiculous.
Well, point being, there's plenty of prey out there that if you weren't going to eat the damn thing, but you wanted to help out doing something like this, and I'm not sure if this is legal or not, but you could just chuck them in the woods, dude. A critter's going to eat them.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't take anything we're talking about as advice. We're not telling you people to do anything.
Yeah, don't go clearing out the lakes completely.
Well, so
unless you know how to fishes there, then go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like I'm catching this year anyway.
You did just fine. You were just missing the 6s.
Yeah.
So I will say, to finish my previous thought, if anybody is really interested in starting to keep bass, I've had several friends tell me that smallmouth dead of winter is one of the tastiest fish they've ever had. So for places that you know of that have been stunted with smaller smallmouth, there you go. Food for thought. They are delicious eating fish. He said he'd put it right up there with crappie. And that's pretty high praise because crappie is delicious in the winter. I've never really had anything from warm water for crappie. And the only think about it, the only time I've eaten warm water fish was with you this past summer up on Champlain. And those were delicious. Otherwise,
yes, they were.
Because for up here, we get, at least in our neck of the woods, a lot of worms and stuff, parasites inside the fish. But in the middle of winter, a lot of those go away.
Yeah, they're fine. That's why you cook the fish.
Right. But I think it just makes people like about it. Versus you waiting for the winter. I mean, so I think with them being colder, it's better anyway.
You still get them in the winter.
But nowhere near like you see them in the summer.
No, but I still cut them out.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat them.
That's simple enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's the one big thing. If anybody's interested, you want to take them home and eat them up. You don't have to deep fry them to make them taste good. A little bit of butter, cast iron pan, lightly seasoned, man. Delicious.
That walleye.
Dude, that was so good. we went back up to Champlain New Year's Eve, and I told him the night before, I was like, dude, bring your cooler because I think we're going to get a walleye, and I'm hungry. And we didn't get a walleye.
The cooler cursed us.
It did. It's like bringing the fancy crab on the boat. Nothing good happens when you try and prepare for something out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, ermine and weasels are the same.
Who said that?
Gordy.
Oh, Gordy would know. Ermine and weasels are the same. But is an ermine a mink? Is a mink and a weasel? A measle? It's a weasel? Mises.
Sorry.
Where are these questions at?
That's what I'm looking for. It. I saw one. Hang on. I actually saw one from our buddy Panda who lives relatively close to you, but it was way up. Where the hell did he put it? Because it was a funny question. We were talking about this the other day. He's dying to go out there. Oh, there it is. Bass and Panda. Best baits for Lake Mojave smallmouth in February. Because he lives over near San Diego. Like, I think in San Diego.
Okay, so Mojave's about 5 hours from us.
He's looking to make a week-long trip vacation out of it.
Yeah, and February is still winter here. And I would assume it's going to fish similar to the other Colorado River lakes, like Havasu. It's going to be cold. The A-rig will probably play. Finesse swim baits will probably play. And a bunch of other cold water techniques that all of you Northeastern guys would probably play. Whether it's a blade bait, whether he wants to go out and scope fish deep. That's how a lot of the top finishers at the last couple of U.S. Opens have done it. Slow and slow with the drop shot rig, or if you want to try to cover some water. I haven't fished Mojave yet personally, but based on the fact that it is one of the Colorado River lakes, it's probably going to fish similar to some parts of Havasu.
Interesting. So I was talking to him about this a few days ago, and I said much the same. So it makes me feel good that you and I are in sync with what would have been recommended. And he was showing me some posts. Apparently, that place has been kicking out some really big smallmouth recently.
It's got some bags, man. I've considered fishing that event for the last couple of years because just from what I know and what I've seen of that place, it would set up well for the way I would want to catch them, which is opposite of everything I just described.
Yeah.
Top water.
Fast and shallow. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Because I would be one of the few people, I believe, out of the 200 boat field or whatever, attempting to do it that way.
Yep. Holy crap!
So
Is there really that many people that go to that?
Oh, it's I think they cap it at 250.
It doesn't look like it's that big. How big is that lake?
It's big.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's big by Western standards.
Like
wow.
It would
20,000
I
acres?
would guess there's like 200 main lake points alone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is the thing I did notice about it. Well, I was looking at a depth chart with him, but looking at overall, it didn't seem like the bulk of the main lake was that big. I was like, I don't know. Quick guess. I thought it was maybe 10,000 acres.
It's narrow.
60 miles of shoreline.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
No, that's a
if
lot.
you average that out, everybody's got their own mile of shoreline to themselves.
That's true.
Yeah, that's not
It's great.
small.
No.
No.
But yeah, it's a up and coming fishery. Lots of big smallmouth, like you said. Lots of good largemouth too. Stripers are in there. Super clear. Finesse tends to dominate.
Man, that does sound like our kind of lake, though.
It does.
You
Come on out.
You should look at it. The place looks sick.
Come on. I fished a lake 5 hours from you guys plenty of times.
Yeah, you fished the lake 5 hours from us too.
You have the time to get
I
out there.
want to come out so bad and do that saltwater thing. I want to do it
I
so
just
bad.
had wolf packs of 3 to 8 pounders trying to eat that OG. It wasn't fun at all. In a t-shirt.
Wait, the big one?
Not the big one. That's a 120.
Yeah,
So
that's the one I
the
got.
90 is the next size down, and I was catching them on a 75, which is the next size down, and the 60, which are not small.
No, they're still big.
No, they're very. I mean, here is a. Oh gosh. Let's go, hooks.
Look at his fancy
Here's a
camera with like, the
40.
auto tracking. It's amazing.
That's the 40.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you get? The 90?
I mean, the
120?
60 is that much bigger. The 75 is that much bigger. Yeah, I got a 120 back here somewhere. It's a monstrosity.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Ryan threw
You
your
showed
question.
it to me, and I was like, I have to have that.
Ryan did throw a question. Will Oliver ever organize his gear?
Here is the funny thing is that I'm always organizing my gear. I just have too much of it.
Amen. Yes, sir. That is my problem too. I will clean it, and 2 weeks later, it looks like a disaster again.
Yeah, this was actually organized a week ago, believe it or not. But I pulled stuff out
I
of one
believe it.
boat to cycle through last year's gear that I'm trying to get rid of to make room for this year's gear.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
So Adam Wood. Okay, legit question. What size reel for jumbo-sized cranks? Like 1.5 ounce. I feel like any reel should be fine for that. I mean, I wouldn't throw like a $50 reel at it, but like any 200 size reel, I think would be sufficient for that. That's not that heavy of a bait.
1.5
Do you
ounces?
want
Yeah.
efficient or do you want the most efficient?
Oh. Okay, different perspective. Adam, elaborate.
So, what I've figured out the last few years, because I've thrown some really big cranks, like a Megabass Big M, like the 7.5,
Yep.
dives down to like 27 feet or something crazy.
Whoa.
It's big. As far as crankbaits go, I don't know of a bigger crankbait, at least not a production one. And I found that bait was sufficient on like a 200 size casting reel. And at the time when I first started fishing that bait, I was fishing like a Conquest DC 200 and 250 with 50-pound braid to a short leader. And I would dump the spool on an 8-foot rod. I'm like, that's problematic. What do I do? Oh, look at all these big 300 and 400 size reels that I got. Oh, they make them in 5-to-1 gear ratios. Let me try this. So I have been big deep cranking with a 300 size 5-to-1 gear ratio. And whether that was a Tatula 300 or a 13 Concept A3 or a Tranks 300, that allowed me to have way more line capacity. And more importantly, it had just bigger guts, gears, and drags to handle these like 7 to 9 pound fish I was catching on that big ass crank. And also, I also stepped up from an 8-foot standard cranking rod. This is something I was trying to get Megabass to do, and they didn't want to take the lead on creating a new category in the crankbait space. So I just took one of the Douglas salmon steelhead rods at 9 foot and 9'6", and I pair that with that 300 size 5-to-1 and
300
50-pound
yard cast.
smooth casting braid. I could probably cast from the kids camp across to that island at Champlain. That's what it feels like.
It's like a 2-mile cast.
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous.
I'm gonna throw this crankbait up over the mountains.
Literally.
But when I'm fishing these giant flats, like I was fishing at Champlain, or these deep ledges, like having that extra distance allows that bait to get down quicker and stay down longer. Like, it's been a complete game changer for me.
9.5 foot rod throwing crankbaits with a 300.
Yeah.
I like it. That sounds like something I would do.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the shit.
I want to do it. I got a couple 300s.
Yeah.
Get her done. So Adam did say my Alexa 300 seems overkill, but a 100 seems small. OSP Mag EXDR.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a big crank. I'm talking like
that one is
10XD, Big M.
Okay, that I understand.
Talking big crank.
I want to see this big M.
Look it up.
Megabass.
See, so I'm gonna give a little teaser to the chat while we're doing this here. He's looking. Oh, there we go. Oh, hang on. Let me blow you up so I can actually see that. No, the other way, Sean. There we go.
Yeah, that's my hand.
It's pretty.
Yeah, that's sweet.
I mean, that's a big crankbait.
Holy crap. How heavy is that one?
I would guess 2 ounces.
Yeah, it's a big crank. Didn't Dennis bring that last time? Speaking of Dennis, is he finally responding?
He brought another one. It was smaller, but it got down to like 25 to 30 feet, something like that.
Yeah, but he brought some big ones too.
I don't know if it was that big, though.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
By the way, Oliver, side note, I was really excited because our buddy Dennis Hart, who was the one that introduced you and I to each other, you and him talked a lot for years about like Champlain kind of information and just fishing in general. He was supposed to join us, and then you're like, hey, I'll jump on tonight too. I was like, oh, sick. That should be pretty fun to have the two of you together on here, being that he introduced us. And I just heard from him now. He's like, dude, I got tied up at work. I'm so sorry. I was like, oh, that sucks.
That's unfortunate.
That it is. Work's always getting in the way.
Yeah.
No, but I'm pretty sure that Dennis brought that exact same crankbait.
It could have been.
If not,
it looked
very
similar.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find. There was another question. Oh, Mark. Best jig spots on Winnie in February. Right in the middle of the Broads. Where was open water? Good luck. There was another. Oh, here we go. Sean Place. What's your most confident winter bait? You know what? You go first because you haven't had a chance to really interject. I feel like I already know this answer anyway.
A-rig.
Ooh. Oh, it's changed.
What was it before?
Jig?
Oh, well, yeah, that too. Hands down. But other than that, A-rig. And most recently, haven't caught anything on it yet, but they were on it. 3/4 ounce spinnerbait.
When we were up there on Champlain New Year's Eve, we were talking, like, we knew we were going back up there at some point at the end of the season, and we had been throwing the A-rig and doing all right. and he sends me a text. He's like, "Hey, those days they're following the A-rig, but they're just not committing. I think they'll bite a really big spinnerbait if I slow roll it." I was like, "Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that could work." And if not, you drop it and fish it like a jig. Because I know a lot of guys have talked about that for years. But it's something I learned about on Bass Boat Central back in like 2009, 2010 when I first joined. That guys would do that. They'd hop like a 3/4 or 1 ounce spinnerbait along, almost like a blade bait, and that would work for them really well in cold water. So it's like, yes, bring it, do it.
So I was throwing the A-rig. We were in like, what, 40, 45 feet? Something like that?
Yeah, when we were on the last spot
Right.
before the unfortunate GoPro incident.
Yeah. Bomb the A-rig out, see some fish. They were following it, but they were like 10 feet behind it. They wouldn't come any closer. So I was like, after like 4 or 5 casts like that, I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. So I went and tied on 3/4 ounce spinnerbait, bombed it out, same spot, same fish, let it sink down to the bottom, just popped it up like maybe 6 inches off the bottom, just started slow rolling it, and they were on it, but they would not commit. But they were on it. Yeah, I know. That would have been cool catching the spinnerbait fish in 45 feet.
That's the nice thing about that spinnerbait. If it's the same spinnerbait I think you're talking about, is the versatility. Because I love fishing that thing in like a foot of water. Fast.
Yep. So you know how we go to the pond in which we do not speak in the spring when weather lines up, like 3 straight days blowing straight into that bottom corner.
Oh, yeah.
And we go wax them, either jerkbait or jig or usually
Spinnerbait or chatterbait.
Yeah, I want one of them big spinnerbaits now. I want to put that thing on the shore and burn it out of there. Okay. Well, we're gonna have fun this spring.
Big shout out to my man Sean. He's fished with me a few times now, and he caught the first saltwater stripers on I think the 60-gram OG that I had lent him.
Nice.
Off the beach in Jersey last month. So
Sean,
big shout out to him. He got to see that Down Under and OG in action on some of the most polluted lakes in New York with me last summer.
Nice.
Gross. Awesome.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't eat those fish, but man, 4.5 pound smallmouth, crushing topwater in a lake that apparently they're kind of rare. But anyways,
Nice. Yeah, Sean used to live up this way, if memory serves correct.
I think
No, I'm thinking of someone else.
Steve
I'm thinking
Place?
of Nate. Well, then there's him too. I know too many people. Oh, anyway,
I'm surprised you even know who he is.
who?
Steve, was he in your grade?
No, very close to it. I forget which side of me he was on. No, lower. Anyway, we digress. Oliver, what's your favorite? What's your most confident winter bait? I want 2 answers from you because you live confidently and have years of success in 2 very different realms for very traditional and very big. So I want
all right,
one
I'll
of
give
each.
you one of each. Sure. One big soft bait like a Defiant 247.
Yep.
Just it's hard to deny how effective that bait is from October through May, especially in the terrible months of January and early February. Mid-February, things get kind of interesting. Those fish start getting hungry and active, and it gets real fun. And then as far as a traditional bait, man, I'd probably have to pick a jig.
Yeah, my man.
Feel for some rocks.
Yeah.
If you asked me
Rock,
3
rock, rock,
years
rock,
ago,
thump.
yeah, no, seriously,
No,
man.
it's you. It's rock. Shit. Thump. Come on, every time. I've had it happen maybe like a handful of times where you get hung up and they bite it off the rock for you. Him, 3 times a trip.
I don't understand it. Like
I don't either.
for years. It'll happen often. Like I'll probably do it 10 to 15 times a year where like, we're dragging through good rocks and it's stuck. Like there's no question about it. I am stuck on that rock. And I'll just sit there and aggressively bounce the hell out of the rod. And sometimes I get lucky and it either dislodges itself or just kind of keeps rocking back and forth. I feel like it's unpinning itself. Or the way it's hung up around the hook, like I'm the head on that football jig is just going crack, crack. 5! Ultimate distraction.
Oh, it's my best friend.
Where the head on that football jig would just be going crack, 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 crack against the rock. And like it's stuck. Like I'll like lean. Yep, nope, that's stuck. And dunk, 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 dunk. And then I'll just feel a thump. And I'm not bouncing along the rocks, dude. That thing is stuck. And all of a sudden the smallmouth just can't handle whatever the hell is going on. It comes up and it snatches it right off the rock. And that's literally how I just caught my 5.5 pound PB just like a month ago, doing that.
Yeah,
There's been plenty of other times.
You might be amazed at how many times I've had them do that exact same thing with the Defiant stuck in the rocks.
Really?
Yeah, to the point where I was on a training session with a client, and that was the only way they would bite it. So I told him to like purposely try to snag it.
Remember when we did really well in that tournament 2 years ago? Because you figured out we're in a lake in Vermont.
Yeah.
And it's, it's Champlain, right? It's got plenty of exposed ledge face down deeper. And there's not like a ton of it, but these, you get those veins where it's exposed and it's really, really snaggy. And there's a lot of that in a lot of the other ponds in Vermont. And it was just a weird day. Second day of a 2-day tournament. We were kind of struggling a little bit. And all of a sudden, crack, he gets a good fish in the boat. Like 5 minutes later, crack, gets another one in. And he looks at me, he goes, you know what I'm doing? I'm like, what? He's like, the exposed ledge down there in like 35 feet? I'm casting out deep, I'm bringing it up, and as soon as I feel it, I kind of just pull into it, and I get stuck, and I wait. And I just wait a little bit, and then I pop it off. And every time I do that, I get bit. I was like, huh. So we literally did that the last 3 hours of the day, and I think we had the third biggest bag of the day. Mm-hmm. But it was enough to propel us from a miserable finish the day before to finish 7th out of like 22 boats or something like that for the 2-day, which is good because I think we were in 17th after day 1. Something bad.
16th.
16th. Okay.
I remember that because I skunked.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. And then the day I caught my PB, just last month, the way they were eating, like, same deal. I got stuck, popped it out, like I just kind of lean, and I could feel it go punk, and then poof. It's like, ooh, cool, okay. And I go back to working the rocks, nothing. It's like, And my brain went to that day that happened with him at the tournament. Screw it. I can see the rock pond 360. I bomb out here in the middle of it, and I'm dragging really, really slow to the point where I can feel it get hung up. Wait a second, pop it free, just over and over and over again. I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is great. Otherwise, I couldn't get bit.
It's so crazy when that light bulb goes off on that specific bite. It's so awesome because when you start calling that shot, it's such a specific and weird scenario to the casual observer.
Oh yeah.
One thing that didn't make sense about that whole day, that whole situation, what we figured out, is I turned around, 180 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Cast up onto a grass vine, caught a 4-pound largie.
4.5 pound largie.
4.5 pound largie. I was like, they're just here. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I tell you what, Champlain in May, though, that's some serious fun doing exactly that.
Oh, man.
You get up on those flats that are, just off like the main spawn flats, and it's nothing but that rip-rap for like a freaking mile of shoreline, and it's covered in zebra mussels. Just power fishing a half-ounce football jig right through that, just kind of like power dragging it and popping along, just back the other way. Do that for hours, 4 days straight, every spring.
Jerkbait, but a jig.
Yeah, bottom contact jerkbait fishing. I like it.
Jerkbaits, suspending jigs. That's how I think of I don't know. That's how I think about it.
He does. He says it all the time, and it makes like the most sense in the world to me. I don't even second guess it. It looks good.
Because we're like this.
Yes. Brian Navarro asked best. Oh wait, you know what? I didn't answer the last question. Mine would be really easy. Jigs. If you asked me 3 years ago, we're talking like now this time of the year, blade bait. But I can't get bit on a blade bait to save my life anymore, so it's a jig. There you go. Dude, I have no idea. Every time we go out this time of the year, I tie on at least 2 different blade baits, and I still can't get a good blade bait bite to save my life. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I also give up on it relatively quickly because I can't stop them from eating a jig.
So that's been my issue this year, is that I've been grinding the blade bait, and I've never done that.
No.
Ever. I barely ever threw the blade bait until this year. And I've been grinding it, and I caught one largie on it.
Maybe it was a good one.
It was a good one, but
4 3/4.
It's been tough. I'm starting to not like the blade bait. I'm gonna go back to the jig. I want to catch fish again. Flipping jigs. Oh, well, I just saw a question somewhere.
I'm getting there. I saw Brian's question.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Oh, that's very specific. Best technique to use for Paris Lake or Lake Puttingston right now in winter?
It's pudding stone, man. Don't get it twisted.
Puttingston? Puttingston?
Going to
It's
Lake
actually a type
Puttingston
of,
this
Lake
weekend.
Puttingston, sir!
Should hop on the chariot with me.
That's great.
The aqua chariot.
I believe we're autistic, sir.
When you
Very
guys
much
come
so.
out, when you guys come out west, I'm gonna make you guys fish there first before we go anywhere else.
I feel like we're being punished right now.
Yeah, I need to batter you guys down and just beat you up and set the bar really, really low.
You don't need to do that. We do that to ourselves plenty just fine, thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. You can make a career out of it.
It is arguably the toughest place in Southern California to catch a bass for a lot of people. And that's why I take a lot of pride in it being my home lake. Because when you catch a fish, and a good one, there's a very real sense of accomplishment that comes with it. And that was my home lake. Northern strain largemouth, fun fact.
Interesting.
So a 7-8 pounder would be a really big one. I've got a few 10s. The biggest one I've ever seen and weighed was my buddy Greg's. It was an 11-15, which is a monster northern strain largemouth.
Yeah, it is.
And then Lake Paris is my other home lake, much of which was featured on Big Bass Streams Volume 1. And it is a tough time of year to try to catch a fish in Southern California right now. But if I were to go out there looking for a big bite, it would be that Defiant 247. Pudding Stone's actually been getting trout plants again, kind of low key. Ooh. So the last time I went, I got about a 6 3/4 on the 247 slow sink. But here's a hot tip: stop slow rolling those swim baits and fish it more erratically. Employ your inner Andrew with your suspending jig mentality. You might be surprised.
Be a cranking jig at that point.
Yeah. If you guys make it to the show,
don't get it wrong.
I'm going to be talking about some of those big soft bait specific techniques and application and retrieves and all that other technical stuff. But throw a big soft swim bait up higher in the column. Those trout are just kind of roaming around open water for the most part. So they're used to looking up at them. Too many people got sucked into the whole bottom bouncing. I got to feel the bottom. I got to wind this thing slow and steady like I watched every other swim bait expert on the internet doing, because that's how it works. Well, I'm here to tell you firsthand that there's more than one way to catch a bass.
Yep.
And then on the other end of the spectrum, if you just want to catch a bass right now, a jig is always a good option, like the boys are talking about, or a small finesse swim bait, like a 3-inch swim bait, like that Cast Prodigy that I've been fishing on, either a standard Defiant jig head, like a 3/16 to 1/4 ounce, maybe, depending on how deep you're fishing, and then maybe with that added flash and vibration of the underspin. Those 3 things should get you a bite on any of these Southern California lakes.
Do any of the lakes out there fish like the lakes out here? I mean, it'd probably be more North Cal, but
in spots. Like, first of all, our bodies of water are tiny. There's not very much vegetation. It's all flooded desert or canyons. So it's a lot of sand and a lot of rock. Very little wood. And most of the year, not very much grass. And then most of the grass that we have is that what I call pita grass. It's a pain in the ass. It's kind of like that long stringy stuff that you guys get too, where it'll foul
it gets
your
caught
bait.
On everything.
Yeah, and you can't clear it. You can't clear it like hydrilla or milfoil or like the good grass, right?
You got to peel it.
It makes fishing through it a pain in the ass. We get that stuff too. So, I mean, maybe the hard bottom and rock stuff would be somewhat familiar, but like that lush, green, beautiful vegetation, we don't have pads. We got tules, which are like reeds, which our fish utilize a lot more than the rest of the country uses reeds or bulrushes.
Just flat out different.
it's different. And then like you get into the desert lakes like Mead, Mojave, Havasu. It's like, whoa, what the hell is this? It's as different as the Great Lakes are to everything else.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Nope, that's a good way to put it in perspective. Speaking of your weird jig analogy, sorry, you said a thing earlier. So as a popper, a topwater jig?
That's a popping jig.
It's a popping jig, okay.
Any more questions?
I think a friend's girlfriend coined a topwater or a popper a faceless crankbait.
I like it.
And I was like,
I do like that.
Faceless crankbait.
The faceless crankbait.
The concave crank. Huh.
Oh, that's not the one I meant to pin. Oh, our buddy Jason, the Crazy Hick Bait, wants to know what boat you're running this year. Vexus again? Did you get that sorted? Still riding the big wooden sled?
Well, first of all, looking forward to hanging out with you guys again at the show. Big shout out.
Oh, yeah.
And that is an interesting question. Currently in development. So I've had some pretty promising conversations, namely with a pro bass angler involved on some design of a boat brand. His last name rhymes with Steeler.
Really?
And this ties into that conversation I had with you about that dealership on one of your home lakes.
Yes.
And everybody around pretty much being excited about the potential. So you may see me in another 21-foot bass boat, even though I like saltwater fishing a lot right now.
Yep. Tell you what, that boat would do really, really well up here.
It would.
Yeah. But, I am a free agent in all categories, including boats, because I'm running multiple brands next year. We are working with Pathfinder on building out a new 2024 version of the 26-foot center console I have now.
Nice.
So is that where you went when I was down there? Right after?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we went to that factory, which also builds cobia boats. And we're also building a 35-foot center console cobia for the offshore game and doing more of that bluefin fishing to give us more range and more weather-capable fishability throughout this summer.
Those cobias are sick.
Now you're starting to get into my work realm here, because I do a lot of saltwater in my current position.
So thankfully, the brands that I work with and continue to work with and exploring new relationships with understand the value in having someone that's non-exclusive, because I'm trying to be as transparent as I can be.
Yeah.
As an arguably terribly influential angler, and the choices that I'm making with the products that I'm using, even all the way to the boat. Like, the boat platforms matter, obviously, especially when we spend as much time as we all do on the water. And I spend more time on the water than most. So having creature comforts and all those little amenities really do make a difference for someone like myself. And I think you enjoyed your little time spent in the Vexus Dream Machine, Andrew, at Champlain.
Yeah, that was...
I
was impressed.
I was afraid to drive it.
I wasn't. Well, I mean, I kind of was. I told him, I was like, I'm not going to go far, I promise. He's like, it's yours for the day. I'm like, all right, see ya.
He was in the boat with me. He's like, open it up. I'm like, I'm scared.
That thing was nice.
Yeah, it's still to this day the most amazing bass fishing platform that I've fished out of. But I've never been in that other boat yet.
I mean, I was in 4-footers with that thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like nothing. Like nothing was even going on.
How comfortably that boat rides through big water. And then, when we picked up this 18-foot Ranger to keep here at home, and we're on Clear Lake, which can get pretty big too, like Champlain big. Man, I forgot or I was reminded real quick that an 18-foot boat is not a 21-foot 11-inch Vexus, because I freaking ate a couple waves. I was like, oh crap! Now I got to try driving again. Like, this sucks.
Shit, I got to think about what I'm doing.
So I went from riding we were in the Skeeter for years.
Yeah.
And then I hop in that thing. Every wave that came up, I was like, wait, what happened? Where'd it go? Thought it was coming up over the bow, but it never did.
That Skeeter was good for us, but man, I tell you, now that I'm in a Z21, what a world of a difference.
You wrung that thing out.
Yeah. I mean, I can give a very ringing endorsement about all of the capabilities and very few limits that a Skeeter ZX200 has. Because I put that bitch through some real ugly stuff in the 5 years we had on the water. Man, that thing made it all the way out to Maine Duck Island and back, and in the last like 3
Well, it made
miles.
it out easy on the way out.
Yeah.
Coming back in is a different story.
About 3 miles of 4-footers. We still made it. It was great.
At least.
Yeah, Sean has actually been with me on Lake O when it got ugly, and thankfully by the time he's gotten on my boat, I've got a lot more big water experience, and I was really thankful to be in that boat that day. I'll tell you that much.
I wish we had a bigger boat for some of our St. Lawrence trips. There was that one year where literally there was just us in the entirety of Humane Bay. Middle of the summer. It was towards the end of August was when we were there.
That's a great time.
We saw one boat come out and turn back in and go in, and we were out there the whole day. And it was bad all day, but you just get one of those random swells that comes up, and it's a big one. And I was doing the best I could to keep the trolling motor in, and I just heard Andrew make a noise, and I looked back in time, and I swear to God, the boat pitched like this because I was looking down at the top of his head.
I was looking up at him like this.
Dude, it was bad. But
Yeah.
we wailed on him, so it was worth it.
Didn't what's-his-face from Kingston say there was 12 footers up there that day?
Yes. Yeah, Mike, because, he was in Kingston, and remember, you guys out there? Yup. Why?
Because we drove 7 hours to get up here, that's why.
The first day was gorgeous, so we were like, well, we're going to Maine Duck Island. It's literally the only chance we have this week to do it. Made the run out, had a blast, lost a couple of big fish, ran all the way back, and it was beautiful. And then the next 3 days were hell. Actually, I think the next 4 or 5 days, almost the majority of that week was just hellishly windy.
Yeah.
Even
we
up
had
in
to
the
go
river.
we had to go up in the river, and then we actually made it up to
Chippewa. And
Chippewa.
that castle up there.
in the castle up on the island. We were on the southern side of it, and then we cut across to go up to it to fish it.
And that lasted all 30 seconds.
And the wind picked up as soon as we got there. It was like 1 to 2 footers, and all of a sudden it was like 4 or 5. And then we ran out of gas.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
Anyway, that was good stuff. Mark had a great question. What new baits for 2024 are you guys most look forward to trying? I don't even want to say it yet, just in case, because I don't know what the official word is on the things that are releasing from a certain company that will be at a certain expo here in a few weeks, that I believe a certain package is on its way.
Oh, is it not there yet?
No.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Here.
Yeah, because you told me about it like a week ago, and I'm like, where's the package? Are we allowed to talk about that yet? Because I'm very excited,
talk
please.
about it. Go ahead.
Defiant is dropping spinnerbaits, and I am mucho excito.
Yes.
That's what I'm most looking forward to.
And buzzbaits.
I am.
And a
wait,
buzzbait.
I wasn't sure if that was part of the release or not. If those were coming, I couldn't remember.
Oh, yeah. It's coming.
Okay, I am a whore for buzzbait fishing. I love top rope.
Dude, it is so much fun.
It really is, and I love fishing buzzbaits. And I know our buddy DJ 3D Fishing, he's in here right now. He lives and dies by that buzzbait. Him and I have done very well together in a couple tournaments in the past. We won one of the Connecticut River. That was we had 21.25 on 5 largies. That was a pretty good day. I think second place had like 14 and change.
So it was a good day.
It was a pretty good day. And I caught my only 2 good fish on, slinging a 6-inch Senko, but weightless Texas rigged. And he caught the rest of the fish just burning a buzzbait over the top. I mean, dude, it was hot, dead calm, and he was just working the hell out of that buzzbait in this crazy lily pad field and just got the right bites all day. Phenomenal. But yeah, I love buzzbait. I know DJ does. I already talked to him about it. He's excited. So those are my top 2.
Yeah, mine definitely buzzbait is up there because I haven't really done much buzzbait fishing in my entire life.
Oh my God.
I've
so much
thrown
fun.
them a few times, but never really got into it.
Wow. I think you're going to have your socks knocked off this year because buzzbait fishing was already one of my favorite ways to catch a bass. Just sometimes for the simplicity of it, right? You just go out there, cast, and cover water. And you can trigger fish that are inactive, and it triggers big bites just because it's a true reaction bite.
Oh yeah.
My concept and philosophy behind the buzzbait fishing is I'm never really trying to mimic bait. I don't think they're trying to eat that thing. They're just exploding on it, generally because they're annoyed or pissed or what have you. So what are some of the challenges, Sean, that you've experienced with the buzzbait? Like, what do you hate about buzzbait fishing?
If it's hard to get going,
Okay.
that's been a problem with some of the cheaper ones I've used where I can't, like, it's not that easy. It's kind of like the OG chatterbait versus like the jackhammer, right? The OG chatterbait doesn't always want to get going and vibrating really easily.
Right.
Whereas you just kind of like flick your finger on the jackhammer, it starts vibrating immediately. I've run that gambit of buzzbaits that, like, no matter what I do, I just can't get the damn thing to actually start rotating when I need it to. And then even then, I feel like sometimes I got to tune the blades. I got to play around with it. But then depending upon what I throw for trailers on there, if I feel like I need just a little bit of something to help them hone in on that. You know, you get a bunch of short strikes on it. I haven't really found a buzzbait that I really like that I can throw the trailers on there that I want to and make it work without the damn thing going subsurface on me. And then I'm like, you know, at that point, now I'm going way too fast that all those near misses I had have just disappeared because now my cadence is completely thrown off.
Yep. I'm with you, right there with you. So most buzzbait manufacturers make two sizes of buzzbaits, a 3/8 ounce and a half. And I always wondered, like, why doesn't anybody just make a heavier buzzbait so we can actually cast this stupid non-aerodynamic thing?
Yeah. Especially when the blades like start spinning and throw, it's like, yeah. But then it goes like 50 feet.
Well, it's probably because the thing sinks like a rock and you can't get that blade turning that instant it hits the water.
Yep.
Until now. And that's what makes this buzzbait special. It's got a unique planing head that we designed to get that thing to lift, to start immediately, stay up top, and you can still benefit from having 3/4 of an ounce to wing that buzzbait to cover even more water and stay in the strike zone even longer.
Yep.
Cool.
And on top of that, depending on what you like to do, so Mike Zampese got one of my original samples, and I think he legit loves that thing more than a human being.
Seriously.
And he's the type of guy that doesn't fish a skirt on his buzzbait. He's a horny toad trailer guy. But I'm a guy that likes a skirt and at times a trailer because I like the bulk. Like, I'm trying to appeal to a big fish. So I want more water displacement. I want more secondary action. But I want the ability to also add on a trailer but not have it slip. Because like most buzzbait most buzzbaits, in my opinion, have terrible keepers.
Oh yeah.
Like the trailers just slip off and, you know, you get your pants pulled down and short bit. Well, if any of you guys have fished the Defiant jig heads and underspins, have seen, we added a twist lock to this buzzbait and spinnerbait so that you're no longer going to have these slippage issues.
Yep.
I think Zampese had like 40 fish on one horny toad on his buzzbait or something crazy before he casted it off.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. And on top of that, like, you don't have one handy, do you? Actually,
No,
I
it's
do.
at my house.
So they've got skirts that have what are coined like a built-in trailer. It's just an extension of the skirt. There's that big 3/4 ounce head.
Yep.
Okay, that'll allow you to slow roll it in 40 plus feet of water or burn it like a madman without it burning out in a foot of water or less which is how I like to fish a lot of times when I can get away with it. But then most importantly, look at the business end of that.
Dude, the hook on that thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is a custom 5/0 Japanese flipping hook. And when I get on these big smallmouth spinnerbait bites, I was losing my mind when I was watching 5 to high 6s jumping off during the Bassmaster Open.
Oof.
I should have weighed on day 2 after I made my adjustment because of the big wind, about 27 pounds.
Ooh.
God.
It would have been, I think, the biggest bag of the tournament, including about a 7.5, I would guess. Now I've got several low 7s, and this thing was the biggest smallmouth I'd ever hooked. And I had lost 4 big ones already at that point due to standard hook designs and them jumping off or even just doing weird shit. Like one rolled upside down as I went to belly grab her, and the bait just fell out of its mouth. And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. I was like a 5 3/4. But I wasn't shaking because I had just rediscovered my pattern by making an adjustment a day too late, mind you. But I was losing these giant bass, like, and just effed myself. And then since fishing this bait, like we've got like a 6'9" or something, jumping sky high multiple times, could not shake it. And the same thing with the buzzbait. I don't think I've lost a fish on the buzzbait.
That's what I like to hear.
So that extra wide gap style, ridiculous flipping hook almost acts like a circle hook. If those of you guys that are saltwater anglers are familiar, like the nice thing about the circle hooks is like once they're in, they're probably not coming out until you yank it out.
Those are very popular for ice fishermen up here too. So there's a lot of guys that'll understand the benefit of that.
Got it. Yep. So those 2 baits are highly exciting. I'm looking forward to it. You know what? While we're sharing the goods, why not? Let's get you guys excited. You guys might have seen the first samples at last year's show. I think the boys had
yes, sir.
The bird on hand. Well, we have them ready to go at the show next weekend. And our man Fred Stepp has been absolutely blasting them in the Carolinas, both largemouth and smallmouth on this thing. And I wish I wasn't so distracted by the saltwater stuff this year, because this is legit one of my favorite baits of all time to fish, just because of the way they attack this thing when they do. Like there's no subtle bites, like they crush this thing. However, it's big. Like
it's quite large.
It's I think a 6-ounce bait. So it's not small, but that's why it draws big bites. And I know that can be overwhelming to a lot of people. So hopefully later this year, we get to play with his little brother.
Hell yeah.
Aww.
And that is
adorable.
A 4-inch body. And I swam test that thing, and dude, that's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one.
I want that one too. So from the Northeast Swim Bait Expo, Andrew and I were there. We did our booth, Big Bass Streams, Defiant, and we had those there. And then at the end of the show, Oliver's like, "You want to buy one?" We're like, "Yep." So we got them early in the season, and it has been no secret that Andrew and I had a very down year for 2023. But we both threw the hell out of that thing. Never got bit on it once. But that is not a negative remark on the bait whatsoever. We had a bad friggin' year, especially when it came to the big bait bite. Like we struggled mightily this year in our big baits, which is
I may have gotten 2 or 3 fish on the 250 this year.
Yeah, I got one on it. I got one on my 9-inch shad glide from Bull Shad, and I got a couple on my Pats, and that was it.
Oh, that's right. I had the biggest bass of my life bite the hook, and I didn't set the hook on it.
There was that. Yeah, for the next 5 minutes. Why didn't I set the hook? Why didn't I set the hook? Anyway.
5 minutes, an hour.
But we fished the hell out of that bird, dude, and I gotta tell you, that thing, like, it's stupid. Like, it just, I've got quite a few walking baits, and it looks so good. Oh yeah, no, 100%. You need a big rod for it though. Like anybody that's out there that's thinking like, I know a lot of guys. I got a flipping stick. It's rated for 2 ounces, 2.5 ounces. No. That will not work for this. I can promise you that.
You can cast it a friggin' mile.
Yeah, you
Like,
can.
Oh, it bombs.
Far.
Dude.
It
So
bombs.
far.
And it hooks big ones. Our man Fishing Sanity here, John Shin, Big Bass Streams team member out of Texas.
Yep.
He texts me either late one night or early one morning after one of his shore stomping night missions. And I think he tried to bank flip a double digit on that bird.
Good man.
And
Champ.
something catastrophic happened. I mean,
Oh,
he didn't
no.
get the fish, but he had been on a pretty good little flurry with that thing, fishing it at night. So I know he's had some fun on it.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm excited to fish it again this year.
I forget how many you sent, but there is quite a few. I think you had sent 12 or 16 of those birds. So there's, for anybody that's interested, come to New England show. There's going to be a lot of options for these. Get them. There's a good amount, but there's not a ton. So I have a feeling they're going to go fast. And then if you're in the market, you're looking for a new swim bait rod, we got Douglas rods right across from us. So if they don't have something you're looking for, or if they're not carrying something specific, Ben's Tackle Shack also has some Douglas rods and some other guys.
Ooh.
See? Those X-Matrix rods are so sexy.
Yeah, dude, they're so nice.
It is time for us to get new rods for this year, too.
Sure he is.
Already talked to Christian, getting it underway.
Did you?
Yep. Dixie Fishing, opinions on rattles in soft baits or jigs. For jigs, I can take them or leave them, but I can tell you there's been some days where it's made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Although for soft baits in general, like I'm assuming like bigger soft body swim baits. I've certainly never tried it, never even thought about it until you brought this comment up. Now I'm curious, Oliver, have you ever used rattles in a big soft body swim bait?
Well, the Prodigies come stock with one embedded in them.
The Prodigy? The cast?
3, 4, 6, and 8 inch.
No
Has
kidding.
it
Okay.
used.
I haven't
Yeah.
had a chance to fish them yet, so I didn't know.
Yeah, you can remove them if you don't want them, but I concur with your previous assessment. There are times when it has absolutely, in my mind, made a huge difference in anything low visibility. Not
Yep.
all the time. You just got to experiment. Every day is different.
Yep. I mean, when we were up on Champlain this spring back in May, I was saying that too. There was the first full day you would come up. Pasong had left. He had gone home from Sherpa swim baits, and we got we were fishing. Excuse me.
Bless you.
I need water. We were fishing up near the inland sea, and we went up to the top end of North Hero area, and the water was considerably warmer, but also considerably more stained. And we'd been doing pretty well on a different shoreline, but like on the inland sea side of North Hero, water's gin clear over there. But we were crushing them on a jig like for the last couple of days, jig. And then when we got up in that stained water, it was all spinnerbait. But then they wouldn't touch the spinnerbait. So it's like, okay, well, they were biting a jig and we throw the jig. Nothing. And I'm like, the water seems even more stained today than it was yesterday, and certainly the day before. I have a mop jig, but more importantly, it's going to rattle in it. I'm going to throw that on. Bomb that thing out in the exact same spots. And instead of, kind of hopping it lightly on the way back, I'm just basically bouncing the hell out of the line. And I'm trying to make the rattles do their job. Get trucked. Okay, I think I'm onto something. Throw another cast, do the same thing. That's all I'm doing. I'm just working the jig. I'm not trying to move it far. I'm just trying to move the jig itself to make those rattles engage, and just cracked them. Cracked them for the rest of the day on that jig. Which we only had 2 left of at the time, unfortunately, too. But yeah, no, and it's a very specific scenario where it matters. But yeah, to your point, Oliver, water clarity is that really dictating factor in that. If you're in an area where you know that they should be, or maybe you were there the day before and you're getting on them, now your water's a little bit more stained up, that's a perfect opportunity to be like, okay, that's going to be that little bit of a nuance in the difference of what I was doing the other day that should help in this condition.
Rattles.
God damn you. Oh my God, dude, there's so many comments that we didn't even get to yet, but I'm looking. Whoa. Ooh, Sir Altitude. Y'all throw big swim baits, but are you throwing the Mike Ike big jigs, monster jigs? 1 ounce and 1.5 ounce? I have not.
Nope. Outside of saltwater bass. No.
Heaviest I go is 3/4 for an ounce. I've just never. I mean, I'm a Beast Coast
Actually,
tour.
so there is one jig that I want to try this year,
Which one?
and it's an ounce and a half.
Oh, that is a big one.
It's about 6 inches long. 5 inches, I think it was. I
hell
forget
are
the
you
name of it.
talking
I
about?
have it, dude. It's like with
Like
with a trailer and skirt and everything. It's about that long.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
about
this is-
as long as your hand is.
football jig or a swim jig?
Like just a regular like grass jig.
Oh, okay. That's like a Lake Baccarat build,
Yep. Yep.
which I still haven't been to, but I would like to go. But everybody tells me about all the great jig fishing that goes on down there.
I know, it sounds like so much fun.
Now you all just need to continue to tell my wife that it's totally safe to go there, and she's going to be okay with me going at some point. Right?
Mexico is super safe. Let's
Oh, yeah,
go.
it's the safest thing in the world. It's in the middle of nowhere. Cartels want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, they don't own it.
I did see one I did want to address from eash574. You done uploading to Spotify? I miss being able to listen to what I miss on my drives to work. I just fell behind with everything. And the plus side is, you can't see him, but my buddy Chris is in here. He's listening in. He's one of my oldest friends. Literally the first friend I ever met when I moved from Massachusetts to New Hampshire when I was in 3rd grade. And he's going to start helping out with the channel. He's, for those that have been around for a very long time, he's the other half of Shoosty Bang, the gaming channel we used to have. So now he's going to try and help get involved. He's listening in. He's going to start hopefully doing something with the streams to help manage this, to make it easier for us so we can just be completely engaged in the conversation. And he's also helping me out with the Spotify stuff, because that's like really, really easy, just a little time-consuming editing. And that's what's been killing me with the channel, is just not having enough time to get for editing specifically. And now, especially prepping for the New England Fishing Expo, it's like, I was texting Oliver kind of late, at least for my time last night. I'm like, you got like video footage of this or this or this, so I can throw this in this reel to hype people for us all being there at the show. And I started like, now you gotta like, okay, I gotta fancy up that picture and fancy up that picture and bring that in. I gotta quick cut that. Wait, what music am I throwing to this? Oh yeah, that'll work. I agonize over a 60-second video. I'm sorry. It's gonna look good though when I'm done.
Damn right.
Well, at least I hope it will. But anyway, Spotify uploads for this will resume again very shortly. Chris already got the first one done. The audio was a little bit low, but that was a limitation of the software that he was using, which I think is going to be okay. I'm going to throw it up there, let it rock, and see what I get for feedback. If it's fine, then we're good. Like that's one less thing I got to worry about. And we're going to go. Woods and Weeds Outdoors. Thank you very much, sir, for the donation. Greatly appreciate you. He's the well, it's Woods North. Wait, Woods North. Isn't that the same? There's Woods and Weeds, and then I see Woods North. Isn't he not the same? Oh my God, there's too many things.
Where's Weeds North?
Woods North. I might be getting the two of them. See y'all in Champlain.
Anyway,
Okay.
thank you.
Anyway, thank
Appreciate you.
Also, thank you very much, Carla, for the donation earlier too. I saw it.
My
I just
mom,
didn't have a chance yet.
she donated enchiladas to my front porch this Thanks, Mom. I love
That's
you.
the best kind of donation right there. Money's
And
great,
soup
but enchiladas.
and banana bread.
Oh my God.
I think it's banana bread. It looked like banana bread. Thanks, Mom.
Banana nut bread though.
She's the best.
I forgot what I was saying. I just saw it. Kevin Joyle, Beast Coast Slut 2. Dixie Fishing. Talk to the owner of Bico Jigs. Bill Q, local mass guy. He's been to Back Rack 1,000 times. I actually know that guy. Really nice guy. I've seen those jigs. Oh, Christ. When was the first expo I went to down there? I was a late bloomer to the local expo scene, but I remember seeing him there and looking at those because he's got the rattles inside the head.
Oh.
But I can't remember. I want to say it was 2017? Maybe 2018? I don't know. It's not important, but I know who you're talking about. I think we actually both bought those jigs way back in the day, too.
I bought some.
Yeah. But now I'm a Beast Coast boy.
Yeah.
I want to make a song like that to the Island Boys.
I'm a Beast Coast boy.
God, we have problems.
Yeah.
This is where our brains go. Anybody that's interested in coming out on a guided trip with us this year, this is it.
This is literally it.
Everything that happens here is the same thing that happens on the boat, but we're fishing, and we also explain a lot of what we're doing, and we'll teach you. But you're also going to get a lot of this specialness.
All these. I'm done. I can't.
Yeah, careful what you're saying now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
DJ asks, is Oliver going to join us in May for the beatdown? DJ, I'm not even sure I'm joining for that anymore. I'm gonna figure that out here in the next week or two and get back to the group as a whole. We're supposed to be going to the St. Lawrence River in Lake Ontario for the last week of the early open season for Canada.
Is that May?
Yeah. May 4th through the 11th. It's going to be a Saturday to a Saturday. Last day of open season in Canada is May 10th. So we'd have the whole day, and then we could drive home Sunday. But my dad would like for us to go down to Florida with him.
Okay.
Not us.
I'll just meet you down there then.
Sometime in March or April. And maybe do a little salt fishing while we're down there, too. But really just go for like 4 or 5 days.
I know a pier you can go to.
Mint. I think he goes, but he's on the Gulf Coast side. It's like Sanibel areas where they typically go.
I know exactly where to go over there then.
Okay, perfect.
That's where we caught sharks on drop shot rods.
Okay, sign me up. But so anyway, that's I gotta take time away from that, and I'm looking at my tournament schedule, and Andrew and I have been talking about like what team tournament trail we are gonna try and do this year. We've talked about it the last 3 or 4 years in a row, and we always last minute are like, never mind. But this year, I think we're really actually gonna do one.
I think we should.
Yep. But I really want to do the BFL in Champlain. That's a lock. I would like to do the BFL on Oneida, and I think that can be done. I have work travel I have to work around, which is further complicating things. And, plus this family trip. So, like, vacation time now is becoming difficult. I want to make sure I save enough time for myself to put in a little bit more time on Champlain at different times of the year, because I still haven't ruled out fishing the MLF Toyota Series event up there.
Shit.
The only issue with that is I'm going to ICAST this year again for work, and that's a week. So if I do the MLF event, or if there was another event that I was contemplating as a bigger event, but that'd be the week after. So it doesn't matter whatever I do. I will be away from home for 2 straight weeks, which would not be ideal, but I would be fine. I could make it work. My wife is not too keen on that idea. Me being gone for 2 straight weeks right in the middle of summer.
I'll take your spot while you're gone.
No. So I don't know. Anyway, like there's a lot of moving pieces.
What?
He's gone. I said I might be able to take his spot.
You could, as long as you bring Fife. Everybody will love you.
Yep. Except for Gus.
Except for Gus. You know what? That's a sore subject. I have to carry him down the stairs every night.
Yeah.
And carry him back up. It's not going well.
He's the last one of the family, though.
What?
He's the last one of the family. He's still kicking.
Yep. No, for 13, he's still doing pretty good. And it's funny, too, because, like, when he was younger, if I carried him up and down the stairs, he'd hate it. He'd, like, squirm the whole way, and, like, as I get, like, half bent over, and he's like, ugh, and he's like, fighting for his life to get out. Now, the moment I pick him up, his tail just goes a mile a minute, and he just kind of, like, settles in. He's like,
where are we going?
This is nice. And I put him down, and he looks up at me, and he does, like, that. As he going, his fucking tail can't go as fast as he wants it to.
His whole body's doing the wiggle.
Almost knocks himself back over from his weak hips.
But how do you not love dogs, man? They're delicious. Oh crap! Did I just say that? Fine.
He's like, hell no.
Or what? Runs away.
Thanks for saying that.
We got to hang out with him up at Champlain. We walk into Dick's. You have a very nice country.
Oh my God. The country's so nice. Riley's like, oh, shut up.
I mean, people think fishing is Mojave. It's really annoying and embarrassing Riley in public.
You do a good job.
Thank you. I feel like it's an art form.
It is. Like, I feel like the longer you are with somebody, the more challenging it becomes to constantly annoy them, because they get used to it a little bit. So you got to change up your tactics.
Yeah, like dad jokes.
Yeah.
I sent him a good one the other day.
You son of a bitch.
2 years, 2 good years.
It was a tire. It was a table made out of car tires.
Yeah, it said it took 2.
It's supposed to take a good year or 2 to build. Son of a bitch.
Got you, fucker.
Oh man, how far is the venue from the hotel, or I'm sorry, the airport?
Where you flying, Logan?
I think so.
It's got to be an hour, if that.
Oh, is it?
It's straight
Okay.
highway, man. Like you just get on the Pike for a little ways. Wait, you can take the Pike right to 495, right?
You should be able to. It's probably only. I don't even think it's that far.
It's
can't
honestly,
be that
it's
far.
probably like a 45-minute ride.
Half hour, 45 minutes.
God.
Tell you what, I'm going to tell you in a minute here because I can.
Can't be
I think
that
Mr.
far.
Miller volunteered to come swoop us from the airport Wednesday night. My man. Cool.
All right.
All right. Well, hopefully we get to see you guys at the show. We will be there for all 3 days.
I'll see you.
It's
I'm not
3
gonna be
days,
working
right?
this. I'm not gonna be working with you guys, but I'll definitely be over to come hang out and maybe get dinner after, or do something.
Nice.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that up before we go for parting thoughts. First off, I was close. It's 45 minutes and $4 in tolls to get you from the airport up there. But I was right. Take the Pike right over 495.
Sorry,
tolls in
Ryan.
that.
I got mixed
Oh,
up
yeah,
with
doing
the
the
other
Pike.
show. We're flying out a week from tonight for the Chicagoland Expo, and I got that mixed up with the following week, which is this expo.
Yes. See.
My bad.
So
Next Thursday.
there are quite a few eateries if we would all like to get together, depending upon what your plans already are, sir, for dinner after the show one of the nights. And or Apex Entertainment is right across the street, which has go-karts.
Yes. Yep.
Is this
100%.
indoor
It is.
go-kart?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Big ass arcade, indoor go-kart track. It's actually a pretty big go-kart track too.
I'm excited.
Oh,
We might need to like reserve that or something.
That's okay.
They're open till 11 on Saturday.
Perfect.
Show ends at 7. We're going straight for go-karts and beers right after.
They count the broken ribs. Last
they don't
time
have
we.
a Street Fighter 2 arcade at that arcade?
Oh, they probably do. They actually have a pretty big arcade there. Like the facility itself is pretty big.
Open challenge to anybody.
Street Fighter 2.
We'll play you for I'll play you for a Douglas rod. How's
I
that?
just want you to be very careful. I am so tempted to pull Chris into here just so he can vouch for me because I know he's listening. You can hear in the background. I am the button mashing king, and it pisses him off to no end because he is
Chaos.
phenomenal at all video games like that. But the moment I play,
strategy, yes.
I just button mash, and I'm really good at it for some reason. And
It's unpredictable. There's no rhythm. There's no
Chris is in there. He's like,
see, here's the thing. You can't know what I'm doing if I don't know what I'm doing, right? How do you beat that?
do they have time crisis?
Probably.
Okay. I'll be.
That is a fun game. All right, we went way off the rails. And
Anyway.
it's already been an hour and a half into the show. We did answer a lot of questions, and we had some really good topics. But at this point, I think it's time to wrap it up because that hour and a half point's kind of where we've been trying to keep it at. And I know you're busy, and I've got plenty of stuff to do. And I might squeeze in a little bit of playing the finals with Chris while he's online. We'll see. But I don't know. Oliver, so you're going to the Chicago show. Otherwise, we will see you at the New England Expo, sir.
Yep.
It'll be good times. And for anybody else, again, if you're interested, you can go there on the website, nefishingexpo.com. You can buy advance tickets now if you're interested. There is going to be a ton of stuff at this show. Like the New England show the last 2 years has grown exponentially. And now that he's at the new venue at the Royal Plaza Trade Center in Marlborough, Mass., which is only about 15 minutes further south from the old Boxborough location, there's like 30 more booths. And he's full. He's got the whole show full. It's a better layout because it's just one giant room. It's where the very first Northeast Swimbait Expo was held, which was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I forget. I think it was pre-pandemic. So it's just a much, much, much better layout. It's going to be phenomenal. We hope to see a ton of you guys there. I will be there with all my apparel. I'll also be obviously working with Big Bass Dreams and Defiant with all their apparel and baits. Be right across from Douglas, right near Ben's. They'll have a bunch of other stuff. Bass Fishing Electronics will be there with a metric ton of stuff.
If you want to see a cool boat that's rigged out,
Wait, which one? Not the new, but the
not the new,
the,
but
restored new.
The restored new is going to be there.
You guys want to see firsthand what these guys can do, and specifically him too. Brian, I just saw you in the chat. What these guys do for a living.
It's just us, so just us two.
There is no better opportunity for you to understand just exactly what these guys do there for rigging boats. And then, of course, they've got everything that you could ever want to buy to put in your boat. They'll have there on display. They'll be able to answer any questions. Steve, the owner, will be there as well. He'll be able to answer literally anything you want to know electronics-wise. That guy is a wealth of knowledge about any brand.
He's a genius.
Yeah, but then you get to see firsthand the quality of the work that they do. And this is why anytime I need anything other than a quick fix done, that I do for myself. Anything beyond that, I bring it to Steve and his crew. And I've been going there since 2018. That guy earned my business. I don't get paid by him. He's not a sponsor. He's just a really good dude that employs other two really good dudes, and they do fucking phenomenal work. I cannot say enough good things about them. So there's going to be plenty of things for you all to take a look at while we're there. Crazy Hick Bait Company is going to be there, another one of our sponsors. Like, it's just going to be good. But, all right, I've done rambled enough. Oliver, any parting thoughts before you take off, buddy?
Say something.
Stay warm.
There you go.
Yeah, it's cold this week.
Or if you're tired of going fishing, you can always book a trip and come visit California.
See, if I save some vacation time, I could do that.
What's that?
It's the first of the year, a couple weeks ago, so I think I have vacation time.
That you do. But you got to at least save 2 days for Champlain.
Okay.
Because it's either going to be 2 days for Champlain or 2 days for the St. Lawrence. Whether we do a long weekend or one or the other.
Okay.
All right. Oliver, thank you for joining us, man. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you had
Thank
fun.
you for having me.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing you here in a few weeks. Andrew, do your thing.
All right. We will see you guys next week, as always, at youtube.com/Reel Nothern Bass at 8 o'clock. I forgot to say the time first, but we'll see you there, here, every week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Adios.
Have a good night, everybody.
Goodbye.